Good evening, Otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva. So in my last video, I was talking about the strong, independent woman label and how we're learning how to reject that so that we can become free and live in our feminine. All right. Now it's become toxic. It used to be something empowering when it first came out in the 1970s, and we needed to have that strong and independent thing going on to establish some freedoms for women. But it has 50 years later turned into something toxic that has been turned against us. So a lot of us now need to reject that. All right. So if you're followers of my channel, I think I basically broke it down in my last video. And a lot of people feel that strong and independent is a good thing. The way that I see it, though, it has been turned against us, and people have been using us. Okay. And strong and independent basically means people don't want to take care of you. Okay, in times of need, when you need to be taken care of, when you need to be able to rest in your feminine, all right, when you need to have the freedom to be an actual woman, people don't want to let you be that, okay? So I'm going to take it a step further, all right? This is nature and how it works. Men are givers, women are receivers, okay? The sperm chases the egg. Okay, I'm sure you guys have all heard that. You've heard it on other channels as well. Now I'm going to talk about something that happens as we women get older, okay? We are put into certain categories and put into certain roles. As we women get older, we are seen as wise elders, and that's what we are, okay? People look to us for direction. And as older ladies give younger ladies direction, right? And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, but we are seen, as teachers, as mothers and grandmothers, and that's what a lot of us are, right? Okay, so, but unfortunately, as we get older, people see us as somebody who has to give. Okay, but what are men? Men are providers, men are givers. But as we ladies get older, people look to us as something that supplies, as something who gives and provides. So we ladies are seen as what? A resource. Okay, so we can be a resource of knowledge, of wisdom, and that sort of thing. But unfortunately, we are seen as a resource by men. Okay, we are seen as a resource by other women. All right, so what we need to do is we need to be able to repel that. And unfortunately, every single year, what happens, everybody gets older, okay? So it's happening to all of us, men, women, everybody. All right, but as we ladies get older, we need to be able to repel that kind of energy because it steals our femininity away. All right, so we need to learn to put up some boundaries, okay? And we need to learn to not take things on, all right? So it's our responsibility to put that out there, to not invite that energy from people, okay? So when people ask you how you are, sometimes we have been groomed to say, everything's great, and we need to bring our ego out, all right, because we've been groomed to just put on a big smile and say everything's great and talk about how wonderful our kids are, how wonderful our husband is, how great our career is, how everything is just going great. And a lot of us who are religious talk about how blessed we are, okay, and how we're only supposed to talk about nice things and that kind of thing. So what happens when we talk about how everything is going great? You guys know what happens, right? Somebody asks you for a favor. Because you're talking about how wonderful and well everything is. Somebody hears all that, thinks you're doing very well, and they ask you for something. Okay, so what are you becoming when they do that? A resource. They think you because you're looking so well, right? People come up, oh, you look great. You look like you're doing great. Okay, they're thinking, okay, this lady has a husband who has money. She looks like she has a job. Okay, her kids are in school or they're out of the house or whatever. You look like you're doing really well. You look like you have money, or, you look like you're not hurting. And maybe you are. Well, nobody knows that. Or you have been raised to put on a big front, right? That a lot of things may be going wrong, but you've been raised to just kind of hide it, right? To not show that anything's wrong. Okay, well, when you do that, people ask you for favors, okay? Or if you just act like you just have all this leisure time, people ask you for your time. So they want your money and your time, okay? Or you act like you're in a happy mood. Okay, people want to ask you for something. They come to you with their problems because you just seem like you're in such a good mood that they want a toxic dump on you. If you don't know what toxic dumping is, it's venting. All right, and people use that nice word, venting. Venting to me is a bunch of bullshit, okay? I don't believe that you should let people vent to you. All right. And people are like, well, no, that's just being a friend. No, that's letting people talk to you about their problems. And I think in 2023, we should stop letting people do that so much. All right. Because once you let people do that once, they should be able to talk to you about a problem one time. If they talk to you about the same problem 2 times, okay, they're not trying to solve the problem. They just want somebody to pay attention and co-sign what they're doing wrong with their life, okay? They don't want any real help. They just want to continue doing something wrong, all right? And they want you to tell them it's okay. They want to talk to you about their dysfunctional relationship, and they want you to tell them it's okay to keep doing that unhealthy thing with your life. I support it. Okay, are you helping them? You feel bad after they tell you. They're bringing down your vibration. All right, and they just wasted valuable hours or whatever of your life that you could have been doing something to improve yourself. Or you could have been having some fun, or you could have been spending time with your husband and your kids or whatever. You could have been doing anything but listening to their nonsense, right? Okay, so you should not let people vent. Don't let them vent. I made a video a long time ago about that, and I am so serious about that. Do not let people vent, because they're just looking for attention, and they're looking for anyone to listen to their nonsense. They're not looking to solve the problem. And I tell people, you can tell me about a problem one time. If you do not listen to my advice, do not come to me with it again, because I will get angry and I will say something mean to you. And they're like, I said, I'm not somebody you can come to with your problems. All right? Because I'm a problem solver. I'm very pragmatic. If you come to me with a problem, I'm not a good listener. I will want to solve your problem. Okay? I'm not nice. And I'll tell you what you're doing wrong and what you need to do to fix it. And I'm not going to say nice things about it. So you probably don't want to talk to me about it in the first place. And I'm just very honest. I said I'm not a good listener. So you need to let people know they can't talk to you about their problems, because that's another trap that women fall into. They think that if you're an older, wiser, elder woman, that you're supposed to be listening to their problems. They think that's your job. They think as a woman that you're supposed to be receptive and listen to problems. Okay, they pay people to do that. Okay, if you're a therapist, They pay people to do that. And the thing is, the patient is supposed to be solving their own problem. The therapist is just there collecting money from their insurance company. Or you're paying out of pocket. Okay, so you're supposed to be making good money, tolerating and listening to that person's problem. And when people go to therapy, it's only for just a few months. And then the therapist is supposed to drop you and take on a new patient. So they aren't supposed to be listening years and years and years and years to that same person's problem. That person is supposed to solve their own problem. Okay, so there's a process to that. So you're not supposed to coddle these people along with their problems, all right? It's just absolutely ridiculous. So when you see people as a woman, to stay in your feminine, what you want to do is you want to attract people who want to give to you, not take from you, right? So if you're a feminine woman, people want to give to you, okay? Because giving is masculine and receiving is feminine. So if you see people and they're asking you how your day was going, go, gosh, I just had the hardest day, Go, I don't want to burden you with it, but gosh, it was hard, It was really, really hard. So I hope your day was a lot easier than mine, but it's really nice to see you. So you don't want to burden them with your problems, but you're letting them know, I'm in no position to give you anything. I'm being really sweet and friendly about it, but I'm in no position. So you're letting them know they can't ask you for a favor, and you're not going to listen to whatever problem they have. And you're also being sweet, and you're being endearing. So it's kind of making them want to give you something. And you're thinking, gosh, Juliana, that is really manipulative. But what you're doing is, if they're not going to give you something, they're at least not going to ask you for something. So you're not making them give you something. But if you're acting like, I just really had a hard day, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have another day like this. My goodness. It was really nice to see you, though. You're kind of dismissing them so that they're not asking you for something. And you're not putting on a front like, my life is so great, I'm just this career woman with this perfect husband and kids. No, you're not with the BS, okay? And you might have the most wonderful husband and kids. If you go around bragging about your husband and kids and how wonderful your life is, first of all, you're going to make people envy you and hate you. Okay, because that's exactly what happens. All right, you don't want to brag about that. All right, you really don't, because that really does make everybody hate you. And I know this because I've had people look on other people's Facebook like, so-and-so brags about their wonderful husband all the time. And I'm like, you know why she's doing that? So her husband will keep doing nice things for her. That's why she's doing that, because her husband fixed the fence. She wants him to keep fixing things around the house. That's why she keeps saying, my husband is so wonderful and does this. She's reinforcing him to keep doing things around the house. She's not doing it to make the rest of everybody feel bad. Okay, so I have to explain that. That's why people talk about how wonderful their husbands are for doing whatever. They're not doing it to make everybody feel bad and shame everybody else's mate. Okay, that's not why they're doing that. But if you kind of just go, God, I've really just had the worst day, people are not going to ask you for anything. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do anything for you. But they might go, oh, let me buy you a cup of coffee. And they're going to, it's going to be more like a spirit of giving. Okay, so you're showing a little bit of vulnerability. You're just like, wow, I just had a really bad day. Okay, so you're acting a little bit more feminine. Okay, you're acting a little bit more vulnerable. You're not putting up this strong, independent woman thing. Gosh, that hurts my voice. You know what I mean? You're not. We need to really kind of drop that whole thing. Just be like, it was just a really hard day. See how easy that is to say that? See how hard it is to put up a front that everything is just so perfect? I just had the hardest day at work. Oh, I can't wait to just go home. It was a bad day. Or, yeah, things are good, but I'm just so tired. Just let people know you don't have anything left to give. Okay? Because you don't want people thinking they could ask for anything. All right? And if you're going to the store and you see people waving at you, just kind of wave and keep going. You don't want them to ask you to pick anything up for them. Right? You don't want to be in the habit of doing little favors for people. And you're thinking, well, that's not very neighborly, that's not very nice. Well, you've been brainwashed to think that you owe people favors. You don't. Right? You don't want to be a doer. Being a doer is a very masculine thing. All right? The only people you really need to do things for are your husband and kids. And yourself, obviously yourself. Okay, but you don't you're not the go-to gopher for everybody, all right? You really owe yourself your time, and you need to be there for your kids and your husband. It's really, you don't need to go around giving your time to everybody, okay? Because that's going to burn you out. Women are not meant to go around serving everybody, okay? We need more time to relax. We get tired, all right? Men and children have all the energy, all right? They are physically capable of doing more than women, okay? We're tired. It's our hormones, it's our physical makeup. We just go through more, we're more emotional, okay? Remember, this is not a feminist channel, okay? We're honest over here, and we're giving ourselves a break over here. We're just telling the truth over here, okay? So we don't need to run ourselves ragged trying to pretend that we're men, okay? We're giving ourselves a break, and we're in our feminine over here. So we need to not try to keep up with everybody else. We need to honor what we really are, okay? And we need to be able to enjoy being a woman. All right. So we need to not be strong and independent and try to be a man or try to be a kid or whatever. We need to be honored. But people will come along and decide that you're older, so they need to come confide all their secrets in you, or they need to ask you for something. You may look like you're well off, so they are going to try to ask you for money. I cannot go to the supermarket without being completely mobbed by people who want my signature, want me to buy something. I feel like a celebrity. I have to walk by everybody, and I know this happens to everybody. There's nothing special particularly about me, but I get mobbed by everybody every time I go to the supermarket. How you doing, ma'am? I really like your outfit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right, you like my outfit, okay. I'm wearing sweats and a t-shirt. It's really, really that special. And I go right into the market, and as soon as I come out, a bunch of kids just practically jump on me and try to get me to buy some cookies. I don't need any freaking cookies, okay? I need to lose about 50 pounds. I do not need any cookies, okay? Hello. And I want to go into the store and out of the store. And everybody wants me to sign their petitions and do all this stuff. I don't want to be bothered, and I make sure I don't make any eye contact. I look down, I act like a celebrity that just does not want to be bothered, and everyone's just like blah 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 in my ear and in my face, and I walk through like tunnel vision, and I make sure I don't make any eye contact with anybody, and I walk by as fast as I can. And so I'm basically getting harassed by everybody outside the supermarket when I go in and when I come back out again. And I know they're doing it to everybody. Okay. But, you don't need to make, it's like on the subway, you don't need to make eye contact with anyone. Outside the supermarket, you don't either. Okay? They really, it's too bad you can't really go in and complain and tell the people inside, hey, can you run those people off? If my kids were selling cookies, I would go outside the dispensary. Not outside the Safeway. They're selling cookies inside. Go outside the freaking dispensary, man. Use some intelligence. Come on, that's what I would do. Hello, but don't pounce on people who obviously want to be left alone. But that's just me, okay? So, but I get harassed when I'm going in and out of the store, and I make sure I'm not making eye contact with anyone. I walk as fast as I possibly can. But I don't need to sign anyone's petitions. I don't need any cookies. I don't need anything. Okay, so this is me on Reddit. Check it out. So I was reading this thing. This guy said that he met DMX, right? And DMX was talking to this lady whose daughter was selling Girl Scout cookies, right? And he ended up buying 50 boxes of Thin Mints, right? And everyone's like, oh, that's so funny. DMX is so cool. He bought 50 boxes of Thin Mints and everything like that. He's chatting with the girl's mom, and I go, DMX likes cookie. I go, I hate to point out obvious stuff, but that's how I am on Reddit. I love DMX, man. R.I.P. DMX. But anyway, that's me on Reddit. That's what I do on Reddit. This kind of stuff I say on there. I got a lot of likes on that one. But, yeah, DMX is awesome. But, like I was saying, I just, you do not owe people things. And they will harass you as much as they possibly can, trying to get something out of you. And you really just, you want to stay in your feminine, and you want to, you know, repel people. People will text you and ask you, how are you? Make sure you let them know you had a really bad day and why you didn't text them back. This friend of mine keeps texting me, asking me, how are you? I have a feeling she wants something. So I told her I didn't text you back because I was on an important phone call. I said I was having a really bad day and I was getting harassed by a lot of people. Okay, so she doesn't text me back and say, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. She just keeps texting me and asking me, how are you? So I really think she wants something. So, I don't know. I mean, I keep telling her I'm having a bad day and these things keep happening. So, you know, she's not saying I'm sorry to hear that or anything like that. So I think she wants something. Just tell people, just be vulnerable with people. Just tell them, yeah, you know, I'm being bothered by people. I'm having a hard day. You know, stuff is hard. You know, this, that, and the other's happening. Let them know. Just let them know I'm not receptive to being asked for something. Or I'm not really someone you can vent to. Or, you know, I don't really donate. Or if someone asks, say, I gave at the office. People come up to me with petitions and go, you look like a nice person. And I go, you're a bad judge of character. You know, so sometimes that's what you have to say to people. And I don't like people assuming I'm a nice person. And to be honest, I actually kind of am. But not when it comes to stuff like that. That's extremely irritating. Like, you know, because they want something. You know. So I don't like when people assume I'm going to give them something. You know what I mean? Because I'm feminine, they should be giving me something. So, I think that's all I have to say about that. But, when you're in situations where you feel like people want to ask you for something, just kind of, just kind of prepare, you know, to come at them with kind of a vulnerable thing. So they just feel like they can't. And notice they're not going to offer you something. That's how you know they were going to ask you for something. So every time you see them, always come with a bad day that you've had, or how tired you are. Oh gosh, you know, things have been so hard lately. Gosh, I'm so tired. You wouldn't believe how hard things have been. Because they're going to ask. And they need to start seeing you as someone that is not a resource. Okay, and the older you get, the more they're going to try to see you as a resource. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be as pretty as you possibly can be. All right, but you're also going to want to be as vulnerable and as wow, it's just been such a hard day. You're going to want to be like that. Okay, and they're not going to offer you anything. So that's or apologize, wow, I'm really sorry to hear that, or anything like that. So that's how you know they wanted something. So that's part of shedding the whole strong and independent thing, and that's how you start to train people not to see you as a resource. Okay, so that's part of that, and I'll be back with more tips. And I love you all. And this has been Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva, and you have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.